Hi.
Oh, so she's still saying, hey,
I'm Roxy. I know your
Give you hugs and kisses and all that stuff. Just real quick, I'll say we have a producer, Natasha, new Thomas, costume designer, Margo, and a vocal fixer and producer, Devin, and one of our editors, Sabrina, and the other editor, Tucker, another producer, Andy, another producer, David, and Nick. Oh, Billy the Game Master. Can we invite Billy the Game Master and Richard? Are you still here, buddy? Richard Edson. Richard, come on, buddy. Nah, you played Jay's dad. Jay didn't even know who he was till his dad FaceTimed him. Okay, I guess we can do it now. Billy the Game Master, everyone. Okay. All right. Very good. Hi.
Hi. Okay, so this movie involves so many different cameras and such an inventive style of filmmaking. Eugene told me I had to ask this.
No, I didn't. No, actually, I was just about to say, just like do it how like Friends style.
This is how I would do it.
Oh, okay, good. This is how we talk when we're friends. Okay.
So anyway, so I wanted to ask to extend the question to the cast or to the crew. What was it like on set with such a dynamic and crazy film? So many cameras.
Hey, it's Billy the Game Master here. Oh my God. I swear, I thought that I lived in a Truman Show. Every day I thought that I was the one that was Truman. And then I found out this guy was Christoph. He was Christoph.
Okay, good.
No, he was Christoph, and instead of looking through the moon, like Christoph famously does, he looked through the hot desert sun at all of us.
Good. Yeah, that was fun. Remember that?
This guy made a real Truman Show, and he was looking through the hot, blazing desert sun instead of that beautiful moon that Truman would look up to.
Billy, you want to hand it back to her?
Oh.
Maybe.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it really was. We loved having you, Billy. We loved having you.
Can we get a serious answer from someone?
I'll answer.
Okay.
What was the question? What was it like with the cameras? It was great with all them cameras. You know, it was good for Billy. Remember, and that was
Like
pretty
the Truman Show, all those cameras.
Right. Okay.
And he is Christoph. He also wore a beret like Christoph does.
You're a little too close to the mic. Well, remember, like Tucker and Sabrina, you guys would get all that footage. We had a really small team, and this is like basically half the team that made the movie.
We have more cameras than team.
Yeah, we had like 5 times more cameras than people, and we didn't have a DIT. You know, we had 3 people in the entire camera lighting electric department, and then Tucker and Sabrina would get the footage, and you'd process the footage for 12 hours, and Tucker would stay up like putting it together, and then you guys would switch, and it was like very intense. And I think good for the actors. I guess, Nick, you're kind of, Billy, sorry, you're kind of the only actor here, but it's like almost theatrical, you know? It's like you set up these situations, you make it look aesthetic, you know you're gonna make a complicated split-screen mise-en-scène, and so the actors get to live through the space, almost like reality TV, I guess, in a way, but...
This is not unlike Christoph in the Truman Show.
Correct. Okay, got it, correct. So, something like that. It was something like that, I guess. But if anybody wants to jump in, challenges or whatever, was it fun?
Yeah, I would just say it was a little bit challenging because the entire crew had to clear any space that we were shooting in. So we'd set up and then all have to leave essentially for the duration of the scene.
And the power and the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, and the power and the Wi-Fi and
no one being able to connect to the Wi-Fi, like clearing out, like making sure, you know, because all those cameras required a lot of bandwidth, essentially.
And I remember actually everybody had to clear out, you know, and then I'd go into the room where everyone was like kind of like hanging out, and it was like so fun. Everyone's like laughing and stuff. And then I go back to set and it was like hell on earth. But in a good way. We love set.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, good. Yep. Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a lot.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so the characters in this world are very specific to this movie and to your sensibility. I wanted to know, how did you decide who to cast for each character?
Oh yeah, I just wrote it for the people in the movie. They seem like good to me. I think like, Dasha's a genius and Ivy's a genius, and they always crack me up. And Vish is like my best friend. He always cracked the Parthik. Dasha plays the character named Celine. If you guys know who that is. And Ivy plays Colette, her cousin. And then Vish plays Parthik, the real estate agent. He had recently become a real estate agent like 3 years earlier, so that's a good role for him. He'll know how to do that. And then for Peter's role, Jay, he just came on last second, but we've been talking about working for a long time. And I guess I was just writing like a impotent, like paranoid guy, like just from the hip, kind of thinking from the hip. And and then I was like, oh, I guess Peter will do it. I wrote all of them from the hip. In a weird way, I am also like a 19-year-old college girl.
Yeah, we all see that.
That's evident.
With Jay's character, he is super interesting to me because he's sort of this represents this contemporary fear that a lot of men have, I think, of being canceled by their girlfriend. So yeah, like, how was it like working with these concepts that were like evolving in culture as you were like writing the script and making it? Because there's no precedent. You can't be like, oh, I'll just like look at this other movie about a guy who's scared of being canceled. It's like,
yeah,
wasn't really out yet.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Like, that's a great opportunity, right? Like, one thing I had seen were like some COVID movies. They were really terrible. They were very, difficult to watch. They were very like cringe, I guess is the word. Yeah, it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing if people aren't making stuff that's real. Like, oh my God, like real life is happening and no one's making a movie or art about it. That's an opportunity for like an artist, if you're a filmmaker, to make something entertaining, to make something funny, maybe even emotional about these real life things like people getting canceled. There are people out there who are targets, who are quote unquote problematic. There are also people out there who use the mechanisms of cancellation to cancel others, and those are real things, and I think they should both be kind of made fun of. I mean, we observe them. They should both at least be depicted. Representation counts, And so it's like good. It's an opportunity to say, how do I make a set piece out of this thing that's like very central in some people's lives? That's the opportunity of a filmmaker. Yeah. COVID too, that's a pretty interesting thing. Remember COVID? Happened to all of us. They said, don't make a COVID movie. I said, why not? It happened to all of us. That seems like exactly the sort of shit you should make a movie about.
Were you ever afraid of anything maybe feeling like cringe in a few years, like the TikTok scenes or anything like that?
No, I like stuff like that. I think that's good. I like watching old movies and like hearing like old jargon and like watching, clothes, silly clothes and stuff. It looks good to me, When people say like, first of all, I learned in my first movie to like post-date things. Like, so this is clearly March 2021. Like my last movie, Spree, was like April 2019. It's just up front so no one can say, oh, it's stale, because like, yeah, it's from literally that moment. It's not supposed to be today. But also, like, it's gonna age good. Like 10 years from now, it's gonna be good. Even the concept of the movie is like, let's make a movie about COVID. Because like, we all memory hold like masks on the ground. Remember masks on the ground? That's amazing. I'm happy that's in a movie. And remember masks on the ground?
Sure do.
Yeah. Like, we would have forgotten that, I guess.
Okay, another question about contemporary filmmaking. Some directors in this world think that shooting a cell phone in a movie is death. What do you say to that, or to filmmakers who feel apprehensive or that they struggle to portray technology on camera?
Yeah, whatever, that's good. Cell phone, anybody ever look at like someone else's cell phone over their shoulder? That's fun. Remember that, guys? It's like, well, I'm on a train and I see someone texting their lover saying things like, oh, hey, Alex Hughes, one of the producers, hey. You know, no, you're good. Remember looking at other people's OPP, other people's phones. You know what I mean? It's voyeurism. It's like the height of contemporary voyeurism. To not put that into a movie seems like stupid. It seems like you're like, it's so, look at that. They're playing a tap game. Wow, Temple Run. Wow, oh my God, I would love to fuck you so much, sweetie. You know, these are with like 100-size font. You know, like this is an amazing thing. How could you not exploit this like natural voyeurism that exists in our lives? You know, did any of you guys feel like apprehensive about like, oh, we're making a COVID movie or like a cell phone GoPro movie? No?
I mean, I also have particular feelings about the Joshua Tree aspects, since I live there, and there's been a lot of shitty art done there, and people coming in trying to have their take. And with the COVID and like with Joshua Tree, it was a background almost. It kind of faded away, and it actually did become about the characters. And I think you did a great job doing that. But like, it made me proud to see you represent COVID and Joshua Tree and not be obnoxious about it. It was definitely, you managed to make me forget it was even there, which I thought was kind of beautiful.
Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
You made it, and everybody made that happen, and thank you guys so much for helping. I've always thought like one of my greatest, like happiest film memories is like watching Dog Day Afternoon, and like halfway through the movie, like Al Pacino's character gets on the phone and he's talking to his like trans lover, his like mistress, who's this, you know, woman looking for operation. You know, that's the whole reason he's doing the robbery. And it's like a motivation and the detail, and never really, it's not like the centered thing in the movie. It's just part of the story. It's important, but it's not like, we're gonna center this thing. We're gonna center Joshua Tree. I never tell anyone it's a COVID movie because I understand the automatic backlash that would come from that. You know what I mean? And like those sorts of things are what make movies interesting. Like, you're just plopped. I like plopping people into the middle of a relationship, the end of a relationship. You know, like the last movie, Spree, people were like, well, why is he killing people? I mean, like, no, you're in it. He's already doing it. He already has the plan. It's just the first 2 minutes, and then you're in it. Like, that is kind of feels like life way more than like backstory, like, oh, here's Joshua, you know, like Joshua's a kooky place, you know, quirky balls. Yeah.
Okay, did I ask enough, or should
I don't know. Up to you. Is there anything burning? Do you have anything burning?
Okay, let me look.
Yeah, I mean, if you have to look at your phone, probably not.
It's cool that no one got COVID.
It's cool that no one got
But it was
COVID.
still COVID time.
No, we shot 2 years after COVID. We did shoot about, it was about to be that,
Buddy.
COVID's not over? Okay.
Okay, wait, I have another question.
Okay. That's long COVID.
Okay. What advice would you give to people who are in a relationship and are uncertain about marriage?
Uncertain about marriage?
Yeah.
Well, during COVID, I got married after meeting someone for 5 days, and then I got annulled. My marriage got annulled 3 months later. I would say, yeah, relationships is pretty interesting, huh? Like, I mean, if you want to come up with a good story, I guess get into a relationship.
That's why you did it?
No, it's not why I did it, but like these things happen, you know? Like, shit happens. I've been in 3 relationships during COVID, and they're all very meaningful to me, and
Wait, you had 3?
yeah, I'm
You had 3 during
I had
COVID?
basically 3 relationships during
Oh
COVID.
my god.
And, and there was stuff to pull.
Damn. Alright.
Thank you so much for dwelling on that. I would say, yeah, that's a good thing. I mean, I think, people should. Good luck, guys.
So you're
Any couples in the crowd tonight? All right. Yeah, boo boo. Well, what'd you think? Any couples feeling good? Any couples about to have a family? Like, and maybe tonight start a family? Okay. Should we ask the audience?
Yeah, okay, does anyone have a question? Yes.
Did you guys have an intimacy coordinator, and how long did the film take to shoot? So 2 questions.
Yeah, basically we have like 6 intimacy coordinators, and half of them are up here. And look, no, this is how I feel about that. We live in Hollywood, you know, like that sounds like so you say. Yeah, we live in Hollywood. Like it's like a power system, right? Like there's hierarchies, there's all this stuff. I'm lucky. I think we're lucky. Anyone can voice a kind of differing opinion. I'm lucky to make this film with my friends. We all trust each other. We're all very transparent. We have conversations. We have conversations with the actors. If requests are made that there's discomfort, anyone makes a request, we change it. For instance, Colette's character, the cousin, originally all her scene, that scene at the end where she's with Parthik on the FaceTime, she was topless. And then she was extremely game. I was extremely game. Then her manager called, like, don't do that. Right? Okay, great. So that becomes an awesome opportunity to make a shirt that says husbando and waifu, it's like waifu, and has their pictures on it, you know? So all those concerns, I'm extremely open to them. We had a kind of, egalitarian set, I think. Again, anybody can voice different thought. But, and so, yeah, we just worked together. And I don't think there was a lot of awkwardness. And in fact, it's fun to make fun of these sexual problems. And we knew that, the whole goal of the thing is that you gotta end it with awesome, ass thrusting. You gotta end it with that 1990s kind of Skinamax, Peter's ass, or Jay's ass doing that thing that you haven't seen in movies for 20 years. That's partly why we're at this theater. This theater is the best of 1994, you know what I mean? This is the great feeling. Bring it back. We're so back with that feeling.
I saw Broken Arrow at this theater in '96. I will say though, I was almost canceled while I worked at the escape room. It was on Emotep's Revenge, and I was wrapping her in the bandages, and we needed an intimacy coordinator for that.
Any other questions?
She got a little bit crazy.
I asked how long.
Oh, how long was the shoot?
Yeah.
Oh, this shoot was like 15 days.
Okay.
Yeah, 15 days. It was a lot of locations, Remember when we had to steal that tram and stuff? We were gonna shoot the tram. Remember, Andy, all the fucking nightmare of the tram? And we had it, and then the day before they called, they said, oh, you can't shoot on the tram anymore. And so we took the whole crew and we all wore masks and pretended like we controlled it and just stole it, We stole it. And then the hiking area too, where they confess that they're in love still and they vomit and stuff. We just stole that location. It was a really complicated shoot. The escape room. The escape room was fun because Billy, he's so in it. We just left him alone to his own devices. So the whole crew was with, Jay and Celine, and then he was just stuck. Okay. Any other questions?
One of my favorite movies was Titanic. I swear to God, that movie.
Over there, question?
So sick.
Tap games? Okay, so the question was, why did we put the Rescue Pets tap game in the film? Because you love them, and do I also love them? Well, I guess I think they're kind of absurd. And why would someone just tap the thing? Although at the same time, when we're doom scrolling, we are just playing a kind of tap game. And instead of saving animals, we're just kind of self-aggrandizing and judging others. So maybe it's more healthy to play tap games than just doom scroll social media. I do remember that Andy, our producer, is like a tap game addict, weren't you?
Yeah, I did tap games.
Yeah. And actually, do you remember what you told me, kind of? Like, you said that even at the height of COVID, didn't you hire an app or someone? You paid extra so the app would just tap for you.
No, I know that exists.
Oh.
You can do that. If you don't want to tap, you can pay to have someone tap you.
Right. But do you think that would defeat the purpose, or have you ever gotten a tapping app for the tap app to tap for you? There's this game called Cookie Licker. Oh, Cookie Clicker. Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Cookie Licker. That's interesting.
And I did look up how to hack it in the inspect menu on Google Chrome to give myself 5 million cookies. But I would never pay someone for money.
Right. Amazing stuff. Anyway, I like that it saved real animals. Our production designer Frankie found that, and so yeah, give it up for Frankie, who's not here. It's on a job right now, but her and Zach did a great job. Just 2 people in that department too, designing that house. But yeah, she found that. I said, that's a funny joke. It's like, what are you doing? Tapping it. Like, this saves real animals. Okay, any other questions? Okay, right here.
I was curious about the significance of the Flamin' Hot Cheetos bath mat that sort of opens the movie.
Right, yeah, it's kind of abstract. The
Yeah,
Flaming Hot Cheetos bath mat.
For the whole movie, I kept thinking, like, was it a bath mat or was it a giant bowl of hot Cheetos?
Right.
When are we going to see it again? And I was a little disappointed to eventually realize it was a bath mat.
I'm sorry that the film wasn't sophisticated. Well, basically, no, it's good. Basically, Devin, that's just your bathroom.
That's just my bathroom.
That was the last thing we shot because we shot that before in LA, in my bathroom, and I kind of didn't like it, so I said, let's do it in Devin's bathroom.
It's from overstock.com if you feel like ordering one.
Yeah. But then when we got into the edit, like I really liked the abstraction of it, and I liked that it kind of looked like guts or blood or ground beef or hot Takis, So yeah, cool. Yeah, it could come back. You should watch it again. In the back.
Congratulations on the movie. I liked it a whole lot.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed it. It put me in mind of Sherman's March, I think it was called.
Yeah.
Can you talk about some of your inspirations for the film?
Sure. I mean, Sherman's March. Yeah, that's a good one. It's a documentary where the guy is supposed to be documenting the Civil War, but actually ends up visiting all his ex-girlfriends and kind of being, how's your life been since we broke up? And, oh, you're doing well, and I'm a depressed loser. Yeah, that's a really good movie. I don't have any explicit movies, I don't think. I did just do a series in New York. This movie was playing. I programmed a series, and we showed a movie called I'm Curious Yellow, which is kind of very similar to this film. It's about a couple making a movie about Swedish society in 1966. And basically it's like, society, it's all fucked up. But like the director, like boyfriend is super oblivious to how he's being exploitative of like his girlfriend who's the on-talent like interviewer and stuff. And it also has a lot of sex in it. It's famously the movie that allowed sex to be in movies in America. And it's a great film. And I don't know, you just like kind of, at this point, I'm just like trying to do my own thing, and you just feel the movies inside of you. You know, like for instance, we did that party sequence, the wedding party, and like, you know, I remember Robert Altman's movie, A Wedding, right? And the whole thing about Robert Altman films is that you should always be in character because you don't know when you're going to be filmed. So then we just try to go psycho mode on that and give every single person at the party a camera because, you know, this is a film where, you know, the filmmakers, the characters in the film are making the movie you're watching. And so every person was an operator. So it wasn't just you're performing in the film, you're also a camera person in the film, you know, and so just kind of putting that surveillance mentality into the hands of every extra and everyone who, like, you know, has a role in the film. So you think about things like that, but you try to just do your own thing, hopefully, and just channel the spirit of stuff you like. You know, did we talk about influences like Tucker, Sabrina, Alex? I mean, there's a big influence in the film, which is a book. It's a book called The Key. It's a Japanese book about a couple who keeps diaries. And so each chapter is like husband's chapter of what happened and the wife's chapter of what happened. They have totally different events, totally different perspectives. And they're kind of trying to control the reader's understanding of what's going on in their relationship. And then halfway through the book, they start suspecting the other person's reading their diary. So now they begin writing performatively. They begin morphing things and distorting reality. And that book, I read it 20 years ago, and I always wanted to make a movie kind of inspired by that idea. So that's kind of the biggest influence on the film. Maybe like 1 or 2 more questions? Yes?
You mentioned wanting to remember COVID masks on the ground. Is being remembering this time in a particular way something like a big motivation for you?
Not a particular way, just how I experienced it and how I observed other people experiencing it. Like, it just really feels like an easy slam dunk because we all did that. We all went through that same shit, like around the world. And we don't go through the same shit anymore. Everyone has like, you know, kind of soloed lives. Everyone has their own lived experience, which doesn't seem to commune with other people's lived experiences. So when you have like a thing that happened to everyone, it's like, yeah, that would be really exciting to process and aestheticize, turn into set pieces, laugh, little tear job too, you know? It seemed important, and it felt like it was slipping away too. Like it felt like, oh yeah, we won't remember this in a minute, you know. So yeah, it seemed easy. Next turn.
Being inspired by things that happen in reality. Are you often finding yourself overwhelmed with the amount of things that you could make a movie about? And how do you know which parts of reality to turn into a project?
Okay, questions about like how do you know we're gonna make a movie about you? I mean, you don't really. You just feel okay. If you have a sense of urgency about something, or you feel like you've observed something that you haven't seen anyone else do, that's what gets my go. That's what gets me going. You know, like I feel really urgently like I have to tell this story because I haven't seen it told, or I have a concept that I haven't seen yet, but I know it'll be good. I know it'll make sense to people. And like, actually, one of the things for me here is that because of like TikTok and CapCut and other forms of social media, finally I felt like everybody basically understood the process of editing, because for all of cinematic history, that's been the most hidden process of what we do. And so now that everybody understood editing, I said, I am going to make a film where editing is foregrounded and becomes central to how you understand, like, you know, the characters and what their goals are and like how the movie is presented explicitly, you know, so that excited me. So, I mean, you just have to kind of like, be sensitive to everything.